Hi, my name is Antonio Rico and welcome to this mini-series on how to learn the fretboard of your guitar. As you could see from what I was playing earlier, I was kind of going up and down the fretboard quite freely without worrying too much about shapes and pentatonic shapes and arpeggios and all of that. I was just improvising. And in my opinion, you can do that by just knowing the shapes, but when you know the fretboard is much better, and we're gonna make it very easily for you to learn it today, so stick with us and we'll make you famous. Basically I'm using two of the strings that you should know by heart by now, the E and the A string. Well, those are strings that you should be very familiar with, because they are the strings that allows you to play the bar chords, isn't it? The E shape, the A shape, the C shape bar chords, they've got roots on the 5th and the 6th string, so you should know them already. So let's see how by knowing these strings you can apply this knowledge to learn the whole fretboard. The first thing that I will be expecting from you is that you know the chromatic scale quite well. If you don't, please go to the Chromatic Scale class in our series and make sure that you learn it properly. Now let's run to the chromatic scale on the E string. Obviously, bottom E is E note. Then the first fret, if you press, we have an F, because between E and F there is no sound, so they are half a tone apart. F. Half a tone up is F sharp or G flat. Then half a tone up is G. So the first dot normally is on the 3rd fret in all guitars, and it is a G on the 6th string. Up is G sharp or A flat, and then we've got an A on the 2nd dot, which is the 5th fret. A sharp or B flat, then B on the 7th fret, which is normally the 3rd dot. Then on the 8th fret is C. Between B and C there is nothing, so there is alpha tone in between. Then we've got a C sharp or D flat, D sharp or E flat, and back to E on the 12th where the 2 dots are. So the way that I will suggest you learn this chromatic scale is by memorizing which notes are on the dots. Let's use the dots to memorize the notes. So let's memorize that first dot is G, 2nd dot is A, 3rd dot is B, and then after B it's C. Before B is B flat. You see, you don't have to remember exactly every note. That would be a little bit tricky, not majorly, but a little bit more tricky than this. T is actually quite simple, because now you just need to remember that A is there, 2nd dot, behind A is A flat, and above it is A sharp or B flat. And if this is E open, the first note is F, and after F is F sharp. So you see, you don't have to memorize all the notes, just the natural sounds. And if E is here on the 12 by the 2 dots, one tone behind it is D. So don't go all the way up from here, but go from the back. Okay, E flat, D. Once you are familiar with this, you can start playing all the natural sounds, which is actually C major scale. You see, when you get to C, it's on bass. And what you can do here, you can just kind of, I don't know, just play some melodies, make sure that you memorize. You see, you can go up and down the one string and memorize all the notes, play some melodies, you know, and just by doing that you will eventually memorize where the natural sounds are. Once you are familiar with the E string, the bottom E string, oh well, the top E string is exactly the same. So by knowing one string, we already know 1/3 of the fretboard. Okay, so G, G, A, B, B, C, C. See, now I'm playing the same notes on both strings. And then you can go down here and play a little bit here. Whatever, just have some fun with it and play some melodies and memorize where the real sound, the natural sounds are. Once you've done that, you can move on a bit, and you can now use a technique that we will call the octave to memorize the D string. Now, how do you do that? What you do is you play, let's say G, and then you play G major scale. Okay, I'm expecting you to know the G major scale, or you can just check what I've done here. Slow down. And so you get to the next G, the higher G. We will call this an octave, okay? Because G is the first note, and the higher G is the 8th note of the scale, of the G major scale. G, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is an octave. So this is the shape of the octave, and you can move this shape up and down the fretboard. All you do, you go 2 strings down. Okay, so from the 6th you go down to the 4th, and 2 frets up. And you get the octave. So if this is G on the 6th string, this is G on the D string. If this is A on the E string, this is A on the D string. B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E. And this is how you learn the D string. Memorize where the natural sounds are. If you play like this for a little bit, you will start memorizing, always using the dots where the notes are. The first dot is F, then it's G, then it's A, then it's B, and then it's obviously C alpha from B, and then it is D again on the 12. So use the dots, and once you get familiar with it, you can start also playing the C major scale on this string. Whatever, you're just having a little bit of fun, and you make sure that you memorize this other string. And that's all for this first section on the fretboard. I don't want to go any further because we need to now memorize the E and the D string. And I just want to show you, by just knowing the E string, we already know half of the fretboard. So work on it, and I'll see you next time, and we'll carry on.